inspired by kingdom principles that work for you.
Thank you for joining us again at Forward, Upward, Onward Together. My name is Kerry Turnquest, and I'm your host for today for this show that's a part of RBNTV. I am so excited to talk with our guests today. They are young entrepreneurs, and they have built amazing, tasty, delicious businesses from the ground up. So first, I'll introduce Xavier Hicks. She has built the business POW, Pancakes, Omelets, and Waffles. And we're going to talk to her about how she's used her business and also leveraged social media and technology. Same thing with Mr. Barbie King himself, Kivan Miller. He's a chef and creates some of the most tasty barbecue that you can find anywhere around the world. Believe me, these two chefs and entrepreneurs, you've got to taste their food and you've got to hear their journey. So let's also welcome Xavier and Barbie King.
Hello.
Hi, good day, everyone.
Great. Thank you both so much for joining us. So ladies first, Xavier, tell us, how did you start your business? How did you get into POW?
Okay, so we went back in 2017 and we started off really, it was supposed to be just going to festivals. So the whole layout of the business was to go to festivals and just make this extra money on the side. And after that festival, it became like, where can we find you guys after this? And so I didn't know it would blow up into what it is today, only because of those persons and the high demand of the business. You know, we got questions after that, and we started to do our pop-ups in March of that year. And from there, we grew into going out a few days, and now we are here with a new trailer, and now we're popping up at a stationary location on Harold Road from Thursdays to Saturdays. So basically was the demand, a very high demand for this type of food brunch. And it was basically the love that I had for cooking the type of food that we serve, breakfast and brunch, what got us to the state we are in today.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You could taste the love in your food. I've had it several times, and it's just, as I said, it's absolutely delicious. And from day one, you were able to create a product, and there was a demand for it because you really plunged yourself into it. You said that you first started out, and this is an amazing journey. You first started out going a few days out of a month, really going out to some of these festivals. And then you had a smaller vehicle, and then now you're at a stationary location. Tell us a little bit about that growth.
Okay, so we started off with a little mini truck. So it was a very small truck. Not knowing, all of the intricacies of the business and what it would demand in terms of equipment and everything, we decided to go for it because it was my first time owning a restaurant. So I was kind of green and needed more education about the food truck business. So we had to add tents to the mini food truck because we realized all of the equipment couldn't fit inside of that little truck. So we used it as a little pretty truck, to get the customers coming in and trying to figure out what's going on here. So that's what we did with that. Unfortunately, back in May of 2018, we lost that truck in an accident. But I was battling back and forth for a while, even before that. Should I grow into something bigger or should I just wait and keep waiting? Well, I guess that was divine intervention. I always look at it like that because I don't want to be depressed about it. So I just look at it as it was divine intervention to grow. And that's when we were able to get the new trailer. So we launched that in October of 2018. And with every growth period, we have expanded our customer base. And I've seen it with my own eyes. So it was really something, it was gratifying to see.
Wow, I love the story. Sometimes when one door is closed and the truck trailer was destroyed, that forced you to expand in another direction.
Exactly. Precisely.
Chef Miller, I want to hear from you. How did you start your business and how did Barbie King come about?
Yeah, so I was employed at Albany Resort and rotating around Hello?
Go ahead.
Good. Yeah, rotating around different food establishments. I was never fully happy with what I was making on the job, and besides that, I wasn't able to really showcase my talent. It was always pretty much stick to the script and feed someone else's dreams, which is fine. But I'm the type of person that like to be innovative, I like to grow. So I had a barbecue sauce I invented on for staff meal. The guys are so blown away. They used to keep telling me, "Man, you need to stop joking and sell it." But I didn't do anything about it. I literally like put it aside. I didn't take it serious. But then they started insulting me, like as weeks go by. Like they talking to you, trashing you because you wouldn't even make the sauce, make some money. So just to shut them up, I made a gallon and I sold it to like about four guys in the kitchen. But then over time they became regulars. So I said, you know what? Let me start selling this out of the job because I started selling it around the neighborhood and families and stuff like that. And then somebody told me they were having a barbecue sauce competition coming up in Graham Park. So I was like, what? So let me try and join this because I was thinking now it's going to be probably maybe five of us. So we bring our sauce and whoever the best sauce wins. So I signed up for it and it turned out to be like a Red Cross Fair event. I don't know if you remember it. They had this the Cadman's barbecue competition back in 2013 at the Green Park, and it was like five. It was 25 teams of five, and they like sold out of probably like 2,000 tickets at the event. But long story short, we won the event. To my shock, I mean, I knew my food was good, but I didn't expect to win an event of that magnitude. And the part of the prize was they flew us to Puerto Rico to be the first Bahamian team to participate in the Cattlemen's regional competition. So we given away some funds and we flew to Puerto Rico and became second out of 41 teams down there. The only reason we didn't win overall because we didn't roast a pig, and I had never done it before, so I didn't want to embarrass myself for that. You know what I mean? But they still gave us the invite to travel to Las Vegas in that same year. Seen if we scored so high, so we traveled to Vegas about 3 months later. And although we didn't place in Vegas, it was just such an accomplishment and a win, personal win for me to like just start a barbecue sauce in my kitchen at work and all the way up in Puerto Rico and Las Vegas in the same year. So coming off the high of that, I decided let me try and see if I could maybe sell some food to keep some customers around because we had to do like two large cookout events on Sabling Park in order to raise funds. And two cookouts were able to cover like pretty much 85 to almost 90% of my costs. So like I had like about maybe a case of chicken, half a case of pork, and some fish left over in the freezer we didn't sell. So I just created a little mini flyer, chicken, fish, pork, and I just drove around all the businesses on JFK, handed the flyer, told them my journey, and I think my first day I did like 10 plates, like the quickest $100 I ever made, and I was like, wow, do this every time I off. So I just did it every Thursday on my day off. I just keep doing it. We went from 10, doing 20, then one week we doing 40, and then it became so overwhelming. After like a year of doing it, I had to make a decision if I'm gonna continue going to work unhappy or just pursue my dream because I already developed staff and all. I went from being me doing it by myself to me having like a crew who sort of like depending on me to open on Thursday so they can make a couple extra dollars. So I just decided to take a leap of faith. I wasn't ready at the time. I realized you're never going to be ready for a move like that. So I just said a prayer and I went to work randomly, gave him my 2 week notice, and the rest is history. I actually started out in my parents' kitchen. It was literally a backdoor service. You come knock on the door and either I come take your order and cook the food, or I have one person come and take the order. We did that. I did that for like 4 years, and then on my fifth year is when I moved into the food truck, and then I was able to become a game changer for me because I was now able to host events or property and take it to maybe one of the hotels like Bahama, or I took it over to Lannis, birthday parties, different events and stuff like that. So it made me more versatile, and I was able to create a more creative menu. So long story short, that's pretty much how I got where I am today. It's a much longer version, but I know we limited for time, so that's pretty much
Wow.
my journey.
Wow, what an inspirational story. Both of you have such, inspirational journeys that are already just so just fascinating. Xavier talked about the truck being damaged in an accident. And I would imagine that as an entrepreneur, there are several struggles that you have to go through along the way. Chef Kivan, it sounds as if yours was growth after growth after growth, but I would imagine that there were some issues and roadblocks that you faced. Tell us about some of your challenges that you faced and how you overcame them.
Wow, what a story. Serious.
I mean, he made it sound so easy, right, Xavier? It's just I sold 10 items, and then I'm almost a millionaire.
I can probably probably one of the most difficult journeys you'll ever embark. Like this, the most difficult thing I've ever done before, but it's rewarding. I'll say the most challenging part for me, um, I don't know, it'd have to be God teaching me humility because when I was doing it at Albany, like we were doing like maybe upwards of 200 covers like in on one Thursday. You know what I mean? It was insanity. So I felt comfortable enough. Where, okay, you know what? I think I'm ready. I have these people consistently coming. So let me quit. Let me jump into it. And we do believe like I resigned that would have been May, and around that same time, that's when Bahama um, was unable to open for a second time. They had to or had to reclose or something like that. Yeah, they had to close again. And so it was like a trickle down effect with the economy because like so many people lost their jobs, and then Cable Bahamas had a massive layoff, Royal Bank had a massive layoff, like BECs, like everybody, the economy sort of like went with a downturn. I think you might have been in business to really realize that because you would think it was just normal life going on, but it affected me in the long term. And my business just went slow and slow and slow and slow until like I was up to like having maybe 8 workers. So it shrunk so small. There's only me and another person just taking orders. You just take the orders and answer the door, and I cook all the food. I do all the shopping, all the cooking, all the cleaning, all the prepping, all the advertising. Like I was literally wearing 8 hats, and all the money ran out. I was operating on a deficit for like 2 of the longest years of my life. But you wouldn't be able to tell because when I market, I always market with pride and make sure everything look elite, proper presentation. Because I don't feel as if because I was going through a downturn that should reflect in the way I present my food and present my
Sure.
business. Yeah,
You're right. It should be marketed and presented with a source of pride.
yeah. So
Xavier,
gasoline to push.
for sure, right. And Xavier Kivan spoke about his experience in the hospitality industry, giving him some sort of preparation that he could have started his own business. Did you find that your life experience gave you the preparation to handle the challenges of entrepreneurship?
Yes, most definitely. I went to school in Houston, Hartland, Houston College, and it was there where I got my feet wet in the kitchen. So I did some cooking. I did like an internship. So it was an internship where I went to the kitchen, front of house, all the aspects of the restaurant. And then once I came home, I went to Atlantis, and that's where I got experience in learning how to do the customer service. Because at Atlantis, that's one of the top notch hotels in Nassau. So you have to do it the best. So that was one of the things we learned there, and you can attest to that because I know you're a product of Atlantis as well. And also then after that, I went to Malia. So I wasn't formal. I'm not a formal chef, but I have the wealth of experience that I got from college and coming home and practicing my skill in the kitchen, doing my omelets and everything. But definitely, the corporate world has taught me how to operate when it comes to business management. So it gave me that formal training.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You said that it gave you the training, but you also said that when you started Palo, you were a little bit green. How have you learned and grown since starting your business?
Man, there's a lot of bumps in the road that I encountered in terms of one thing I am certain of is when you get that gut feeling, say no. So there is a saying that entrepreneurs, the best word you can have, especially when you start in business, is no. Not to your customers per se, but to persons who want to pull you here and pull you there with their decision making in business. Um, the answer is no, because I've noticed every time I said yes or I allowed persons to dictate to what avenue the business is going into, something happened along the line where I was disappointed where I didn't get to say what I had to say the last thing. So I would say basically, those are the bumps in the road, learning that hey, food truck it has its pros, but then it has its cons because there's a lot, and I know Kivan know this, manual labor will kill you with these food trucks. Um, yes, you're saving money and all of the good stuff, but at the end of the day, you could be a little tired. I had to take a rest. My doctor told me, listen, you're lifting too much. You don't want to wake up daddy or nobody to help you lift the coolers in the morning. So you got to lift the coolers. You got to put them on the back of the truck. And so these are the challenges that I had to face and say, okay, yes, Xavier, you try to go the easy route and save a little money with the food trailer. And these are the things that you have to consider, when you're trying to duck the brick and mortar. Not really duck it, but I mean, I didn't have a lot of money to start a business, so food truck was really the ideal route.
Yeah, fascinating. Chef, you also spoke about the way that you present your food and you present your business should also be a source of pride. Tell us a little bit about how you have engaged social media to first attract. You first said that you went from door to door along JFK, but again, your business evolved and you brought in social media to try and attract customers. Tell us a little bit about that experience with engaging social media to attract your customers and then to also retain them.
All right, well, social media definitely was a powerful tool for me. I first started trying to advertise on television, but when they started quoting the price for that, I was like, okay, I ain't a little deficit right now. I need a little assistance with this. And then you have to keep in mind, you don't want to just post a flyer on TV and then that's it. You want to keep being in the minds of people. So you have to say, you know what? When I look around, the average person pretty much is addicted to this. Like everybody pretty much walks around the phone. So I just started marketing through WhatsApp. I would just call at first when I first started and call everybody, let them know I'm open. But then I opened up an Instagram account, Facebook account, Twitter account. And then after that, we started doing little giveaways. We want to win a free meal, tag a friend, post our picture and stuff like that. When you come and get your meal, we take a picture with you with your food, your big lobster and all that. I just keep showcasing, tagging people all over the world, and we started to attract a global audience when I realized the power of the hashtag. And it just started to spread like wildfire. So I went from like having 300 followers to like climbing up to like 15.5 thousand followers or something like that. And it grows every day. So when I learned the power behind social media marketing, we just kept tapping into it like every day. Eventually I was able to, first I used to do it, but then I was eventually able to invest in an assistant to take care of all the marketing for me and do the pretty flyers and attractive videos. I'm not really the best computer swabby person, but like make the food look pretty. But here is strength is in presentation online and flyers and content. So we just join our heads together and then it helped take the business to another level presentation wise.
You mentioned something interesting. You talked about hashtags. How did you use hashtags to enhance your customer base?
The hashtag is nice when you hashtag it, say that's when you hashtag food. You can be anywhere in the world and you type in food and your picture would float in that category. You put in barbecue. You could be in Brazil, you type in barbecue. Once I put hashtag barbecue on my picture, I'll be amongst one of the pictures under that category. So when I realized the power behind that, we started hashtagging everything. You know what I mean? And it became a really powerful tool.
So Xavier, tell us how you also, I was able to find both of you on social media. I was hungry, wanted to find something nearby, and was able to just sort of scroll down my Facebook feed. Was able to find where you were. How did you first engage social media? And you've really kept it up almost throughout, for several years. You are consistently engaging in social media. Tell us how you were able to attract and retain some customers that way.
Okay, so basically social media was one of the most important tools that we had because our business model was set up as a pop-up. So if you look all over the world, in LA and those parts of the world, they have where they post online, maybe 12 midnight for the following day. Here, we're going to be here tomorrow. So that was one of the things that caught on like wildfire when we started Pow. And then what happened after that was I realized, like Kivan, person following, they are, actually trying to catch on to what's happening with us. And we started to build brand loyalty. So one of the things I realized with this social media is we created a community within POW. We call them POW. POW
Is it
love,
called Pow Nation?
POW Nation. Yeah.
Love it.
Because the brand loyalty, we realized is
Sorry,
there.
Cranston. Sorry, Cranston. Mute Bobby King for me, please. Yeah. So if you want to go back to Brown, you were able to create a community, Pound Nation.
Yes, we realized that through, advertising, through social media, Facebook, Instagram, we even joined TikTok. I was told I need to get on Twitter, but honestly, like Kivan, I may have to hire somebody because I do it myself now. But honestly, it takes a lot of time, and with you being able to grow the business, you have to allow persons to do the work as well. So we created Power Nation. So Power Nation, we call them that. We are really excited about them. They're excited about us. It's amazing how we built this brand through social media because that was our biggest marketing engine. And then also, that's pretty much what we do, kind of push to social media. I did, I think, one public relations, and in the first year of POW, we were on a lot of media outlets. But other than that, it's been Instagram, Facebook, TikTok as of recent, and it's been blooming.
Yeah, what's amazing out of you two, you were both seemed as if you stayed away from the traditional media, television, newspapers, radio, but you got directly to where your customers were, which is right here on their phone. And so that's really the way of the world. That's where our generation is really headed. We want our information at our fingertips and not necessarily what someone tells us from some media house.
That's what it is.
How have you, so I'll ask you both, I would also imagine that you get feedback, both negative and positive, through social media. Have you used it? How have you used, when persons tell you that they love the food or that there's something that you can improve on through social media?
You want to go first, Keith?
Yeah, I go first. All right, well, with this business, especially with feeding the general public and the Bahamian general public, you have to have a very thick skin. So, whereas it's good to hear all of the praises, when I get praises and compliments, we would post it, so people can see the feedback. But there are times we have a little unpleasurable feedback or whatnot. You might have, but this new age, you might run to a person that's not logical or respectful enough to at least come to you personally and tell you, hey, I didn't like this about my meal, this and that was the case. Some people might take the social media and just put a straight out attack on your business, but it might not have been the reason behind the result. The fact that I came from your establishment, you know what I mean? Social media would be a thing that can make you or break you. But I accept the fact that sometimes we have negative review, but I try to address them immediately. Try to make personal contact with the client and find out what's the problem, but then try and at least correct it. And hope that I have the opportunity to correct it, even if it's just replace a meal or compensate you for the experience. And of course, a sincere apology. But the thing I like about that downside of social media, it keeps me on my toes because I know the reality that somebody might be on there destroying what I built. I go on it every day and it keeps me on my toes, keep my staff on their toes so they could remember and realize, hey, people out there watching, they expecting a certain standard. If they're not happy, this could be the end result. And I mean, it's not a good feeling, So, but yeah, I enjoy the fact that it keeps you on my toes, and you need me personally, I use that as a way to improve. Like you can't allow that. You have to be able to take constructive criticism. Long story short, if you can't take it, then culinary arts is not the environment for you at all.
Right. How about you, Xavier?
Well, I was hurt. I had an incident, and it was the human side of me. And of course, you have to have like snakes, like really thick skin, because in the beginning, I think it was our very first year, we were out, and I was the person actually. I was the one because I was serving the customer and everything. I thought I was doing everything right, and of course, before the customer left, I did say, is everything okay? Because I like to talk, I like to communicate with people and make sure they're good. And she said, yes, I'm good. And that very same person went on and did what they had to do. And it came back to me and I was like, okay, wow, I thought I did everything right. That was my very first. I have not experienced that again like that because I think after that I realized Okay, this is what you signed up for. Um, After that, I started to get reviews right at the window. Like, how was the food, or can you take a bite? And that's when I started to do videos, started to interview persons right on the spot. Also following up with them, persons who I may know. How was the food? Can you give me some feedback? And now we have like reviews that people just post our food and just say how it was. If it wasn't good, I would get persons in our messages. Now that's kind of, I was surprised that they just, our community, because I think we built a community where we show them, hey, we family. Most of our customers, if they have any issue, they would direct message us. So I find I was like, okay, so we have to keep building this community and trust, and loyalty, so that they understand, okay, let's connect with directly. Now it's inevitable. You're gonna have one or two, who's gonna go on there and say what they have to say. But as long as you, like Kivan says, rectify it right away, because we're in the business of solving problems. So we have to solve the problem. Not all the time. You're not gonna please everybody. In business, you're not gonna always please everybody, and that's one thing I'm grateful for. The hotel experience and understanding that there are gonna be disgruntled customers, but your duty is to deal with it very quickly.
Right. So Kivan was able to create a system for his social media. He has someone to handle that. But you're not you're almost there. It sounds like. But how have you been able to strike that sort of balance between engaging on social media, but then you also have a whole business to run? How have you been able to make it work?
Well, but what I learned recently is that I had to deal with my management. So I had to deal with, okay, some days you need to set aside your off. This is the day that I put together all my social media and organize them for when they need to go out. So they have these apps that you can actually schedule your posts. I started working in those because I know once Wednesday hit, that's prep day. And Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we on the road. So when I get home, I'm tired. So I had to kind of learn those management skills and distribute tasks. So now I even have my staff taking photos of the food. They enjoy it because they like that. Because like we say, we're in the age of photo snap and Instagram, and so they love the fact that they can take the photos of the food, and they know what we require. And yeah, the balance is finding that management skill, time management, organizing your days. Okay, Mondays is my work day, so I'm at this desk, just making sure everything is scheduled for post for social media.
You're right. We have to stay organized, and we've got to you have to stay focused. And I'm glad that you were able to find an app where after a long day of cooking and prepping, and as you say, lifting the cooler up and down in your food truck, that you find the time to actually post and engage with Power Nation and with you in the Barbie King community. And the benefit of it is that, and Kivan, you touched on it briefly. You don't have to pay for it, right? You don't have to pay, whereas other media houses were charging you so much with Facebook and Instagram and all these social media platforms. For the most part, they're free.
Yeah, definitely. I would advise everybody in business to take full advantage of the affordability of social media market. You know what I mean? Like everybody's on it, it's free, and you could touch. Like whereas the TV, and I guess it might have worked back in the day, but like you can't. It's difficult to reach that international market too if you really want to expand beyond the Bahamas and go global with your brand. Right? Maybe any brand should go as big as God allows it to. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely a person in support of going global, and the quickest way to go global is a touch of the internet. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. You know what I mean? You have so much to choose from. I think comfortably, like strongly present on these three would probably put you in a comfortable position to keep recycling your customers. You don't want to limit yourself and just okay, I'm only on Facebook, so I'm good. Yeah, it's like thousands more contacts you're missing out on just by being on maybe one more option. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely been a lesson too. To have that as an option because years ago that wasn't even an option to advertise. You had to pay a couple $1,000s a month just to get it on TV, and it's only playing maybe twice, 3 times a day. You can afford it, whereas you could hit that to somebody's phone or home feed as many times you want free. So yeah, social media, yeah, they get my vote.
I also want to add to that because normally with Facebook they're so helpful because they give you the analytics. So you can share a photo and you can check the analytics on that photo to say, okay, this many persons clicked on this food, this type of food. Or when you share a photo, I realized on Saturday I shared a photo with red velvet waffles and wings, and like 10 or 20 minutes after that, we just started getting wing orders. People called in, can I get a wing? Can I get a wing? And we sold out a wing because I posted that wing photo. And I was like, you all realize what just happened? And they were like, yeah, I said I just posted a wing photo. And I say it was a little slow. And when I posted that, people just didn't know we were there.
Yeah.
This
Amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. It shows the power of social media and the power of smartphones and the consumer demand. So let me just ask you, you both, you may not be able to say, and I understand if you want to keep it close to your chest. Both of your businesses have evolved tremendously over the last few years. What's next for Pow? What's next for Barbie King? You gonna let us know?
That's a tricky question because for me, okay, I think I sound crazy, but I just been walking with faith. Really, like a food truck was never part of my plan. That's why I say that. Like my whole plan was, I had two plans. My first original plan was, okay, let me get a job, try to become executive chef, and that's it. That was my goal, and I chased after that goal for like maybe like 15 years, no avail. Then after I quit, it still wasn't a food truck. It's more so let me quit and try see if I could save money to build a spot and have a nice little restaurant, nothing too big, you know what I mean? But then when I started calculating the dollars and cents involved with that, and then I was getting a little pressure from the parents, like, this kitchen dirty every day. You have these screaming in my house every day. You know what I mean? Like I would come home and I want to be able to relax in my house with a whole bunch of strangers around. And that's fair enough. So I had to think emergency, what is the most logical financial position? And then the food truck came about. So I could say I'd like to be in a larger one in the future. A really nice lawn, like maybe lawn like a school bus. But then that's wishful thinking. You never know. I might end up in the restaurant because I was really following what the Reverend God pushed me in. Man, so I have short-term goals I do. In the meantime, I just been evolving the brand. I just launched my ice cream brand. So I have the homemade ice cream.
Congratulations.
I'm going to soon launch my sauces. The sauce was supposed to be the main goal, and that turned into a barbecuing business. But I want to recently get back to that goal of manufacturing my sauce and putting it in different convenience stores, stuff like that. And lastly, I intend to start a cookbook, write a nice detailed cookbook with some of my beautiful pictures and market that, start off locally and take it on Amazon. Because I believe every entrepreneur, one of your main goals should be able to make money while you sleep. I ain't making money in my sleep, but yeah, I working hard for this dollar. You cook in a hot sun with mask on in a hot trailer, hours a day, going to bed, 2 o'clock. So I won't be able when I get up in age and tired of that labor, I can at least have a staff that can take care of the trailer, and then I can have the book selling, I got the ice creams pushing, I can have the sauces going. So basically, I just try to evolve it as well rounded as possible. So by the time it's 5 years, I probably could surprise myself to what it grow to.
Yeah. I bet you if you were to ask your 20-year-old self, if you were to speak to them, I'm sure both of you would be very surprised and pleased at yourselves. So Xavier, what about you? You're going to keep it close to your chest also. What else can we see from coming out of Pound Nation?
Well, we put something up in 2021 spring, something that kind of popped up. So we made a little shift in our business plan. We're doing that internationally spring of 2021. But
What's that you're doing in 2021? I think we missed that. What's that?
It's a little surprise.
Oh, it's a surprise. Good. We just have to wait and we have to follow you.
For 2022 is when we want to launch our first brick and mortar in Nassau. That's like the first quarter of 2022. So that's in the works. And also manufacturing, because one of the things that has us on the cutting edge for this type of food is our sauce for our waffles. We make that from scratch, and so we're getting ready to also. Well, we've been selling it to persons, our customers, but we have not put it into stores or properly packaged it for the store. So that's what we're working on as well. So those are the three things, and we're excited about it.
Terrific. This has been a phenomenal conversation. Just as we close, ladies first, Xavier, tell us, any budding entrepreneurs out there, what advice would you give them?
Stay true to your plan. So if you have I would say this, a missionless person will fall into the imitation game. Okay, so what I would say to stay true to what you initially set out to do. Run like the horses, because keep that vision forward. Yes, once in a while you may take a look to the left and the right and see, okay, they're doing this, they're doing that, but just make sure that you are focused on your game plan and don't get pulled to and fro because you see this one doing grits, you go do grits. What's in your plan? You stay focused, and that's why your customers love you, because you offer what they buy.
How about you, Kivan?
Yeah, definitely agree with that. What I would say personally, to anybody that want to come into this entrepreneurship game, just for one, stay grounded with God. Like you have to have faith in God and unbelievable belief, self-belief, and self-esteem in yourself. And no matter who it is that might try to tear you off your dream, once it's your dream and it's your passion. If it may call for you to maybe distance yourself or clip certain people out of your life, but that's going to be a tough decision you're going to have to make. Once it's your dream, if that's something you want to do, then that's a different story. But if it's a passion and your dream, don't allow anybody to discourage you off the path. Be encouraged at all times, because there are going to be a lot of discouraging times. There's going to be a lot of times you want to quit. There's going to be a lot of times you're going to self-doubt yourself because you want to be making the right decision when the money running out and stuff like that. So you got to have a mind to do it. It's going to happen. Choose your circle wisely also. You want to be careful who you call a friend, because that's the one thing I can promise you that will reveal itself to you. Who is true to you when they think you're making all kind of money. Who's true to you when you think about this big, pretty successful business. They don't know you here boiling noodles while you're feeding people all this pretty food. You're just trying to keep them operating, so you'll find your circle would turn into like a half moon or even smaller than that. But that's the safest way to be. And I advise anybody who getting into business to keep your circle as small as possible. And the ones that are in your circle, make sure they add value to your circle and to your business. Not somebody who's going to compete against you and try to sabotage you. So that's my 5 cents to all my budding entrepreneurs coming up into this.
Terrific. This has been a phenomenal conversation. Thank you both. Kivan, if anyone in our listening audience wanted to reach you, where can they do so?
Sure. Well, you can contact me 359-0507. That's my cell phone, 359-0507. You could find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Bahama Barbie King, BAHAMA Barbie King. And you should feel free to reach us on any one of those platforms.
Terrific. And Xavier, how about you?
You can reach me at 264-147. That's our line, and also Power Punch on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So at Power Punch, POWRUNCH. And you can reach us right on those contacts.
So let me thank both of you. You are headed for the sky, and I'm very proud of you, and continue to do well and keep focused on your goals. Love the conversation that we had today, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. And thank you for watching Forward, Upward, Onward together on RBNTV. Like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to hear from you.
You're watching RBNTV. We are networking, promoting, we're scoring points for you, proclaiming, declaring, here to encourage you, no matter the